you, Miss.
Good afternoon, Jaden. I'm still waiting on the others to join. Let's give them a few more minutes.
Okay, Miss.
We wait 2 more minutes, Jaden. If nobody else joins, then it will be just you and I for today. So I'll start in 2 minutes, all right?
Okay, Miss.
Evening, Miss. Good afternoon, Harmony. We'll start soon, Harmony. I was waiting to give the others 2 more minutes to join. Seems persons are running late today. All right, it seems the others are really running late. I am going to go ahead and start, and I hope that they'll be able to join us shortly. Give me a second, let me, oh, I've already started recording. Good. Okay. All right, students. So we are going to go ahead and start our lesson for today. It's now 5:35, so we have to get going. Um, we're moving away from what we did yesterday. I know we did some subject verb agreement yesterday, and it was really fun. But we are moving away from that. If you have any questions or concerns about it, feel free to ask me at the end of class. For today, we're going into comprehension. So we're going to be venturing now into comprehension a bit for today's class. So there's something specific or two things about comprehension that we're going to be looking at. But before I tell you what those things are, let me ask, what does it mean to comprehend something? When you say you comprehend, what does that mean?
Miss,
you
to
like
understand.
Right. Good. It means you understand. So if you are saying that you comprehend what was done, it means you understand what was done. So when you think about comprehension, passages are comprehension, topic of comprehension, you know that it has to do with reading. And not just reading, but understanding what you have read or understanding what you are reading. Because many times we read and we don't quite get it, right? We read, but we are not understanding what we are reading. And so when we go into the comprehension now, the topics that fall under comprehension, it really surrounds understanding whatever you have read or understanding what you are reading. All right. So something I want to share with you. Wait, let me see if I can share my screen. See my screen?
Yes, miss.
Yes,
I had some icebreaker right here for you that I wanted to share. Do you know any of the answers to these? I have a tail and a head, but nobody. What am I?
Miss, a tadpole.
A what?
A tadpole.
A tadpole. Okay, I was thinking more of a coin. Remember the coin has the head and the tail, but nobody.
Oh.
Another one. What has hands but cannot write or clap?
A clock.
A clock, yes. What about this one? What goes in your pocket but keeps it empty?
Miss, your wallet. Miss, a
But the
wallet.
wallet keep the pocket empty.
Oh.
Miss your hands.
I was thinking maybe it's me getting it wrong, but I was thinking more like, you know, when the pocket has a hole in it and whatever you put in there gets lost, so it keeps the pocket empty.
Oh, yes.
Right. And then the last one, what runs but cannot walk, has a mouth but no teeth, and has a bed but cannot, but you cannot sleep on it. I think that's what it's supposed to be. Something is missing from that. What do you think it is? It runs, but it cannot walk. It has a mouth, but it doesn't have any teeth. And it has a bed, but you can't sleep on the bed.
Miss, I'm not sure.
The river. The river runs. The river, yeah, the river has a mouth, river mouth, and the river bed. Yeah. So we're referring to the river right here. All right. So that was just a little icebreaker to get us into the mood of learning. All right, 1 second. I'll share back the screen in a minute. All right. So let's look at this picture. What are you seeing on this picture?
A lady on her phone.
I've seen a lady and it seems as if she's on her phone. All right. Anything else?
Miss, lady sitting down in the couch with the light pointing directly to her head.
Yes. What color is the couch?
A blue couch.
All right. And what color is the cushion?
Orange.
Orange. And you see a plant as well, right?
Yes, miss.
Right. Now tell me something. Did you have to guess any of the answers a while ago? Or were you able to tell me them because you were able to see them directly?
We could see them directly, miss.
You could see them directly. And I use this in a way to help to introduce the topic that we're going to be looking at today. Now, in comprehension, we have different levels. We have 3 different levels. We have what we call a literal level, we have what we call an inferential level, and we have what we call an evaluative or critical level. So you have literal level, you have inferential level, and you have the critical or evaluative level. Today, we're going to be looking at the literal and also, if time allows us, the inferential level of comprehension. So the literal level of comprehension and the inferential level of comprehension. Earlier, we said that comprehension literally means to understand what you have read or understand what you are reading. But we want to know now what the literal level of comprehension really is about. So let us get into that. Are you seeing the definition there on the screen?
Yes.
Yes, Miss.
All right. Can you read what it says literal comprehension is?
Literal comprehension is the understanding of information and facts directly stated in the text.
All right, thank you. Now remember a while ago I said that for the comprehension, it's basically you reading a passage, right? You get comprehension passages to do at school where you have to read and answer questions.
Yes.
Yes, Miss.
Yes, so it's basically you reading something from a text or passage. It may be a story, something. And then you have some questions that you have to answer afterwards. Now, in order to answer those questions, you need to be able or you need to understand the different levels of comprehension, because you may get questions that are literal questions, you may get questions that are inferential questions, and you may get questions that are evaluative or critical questions, all right? For the literal comprehension, it is you reading and understanding the information that is directly stated. It is literally there in the text. So when you are ready to answer your questions, you don't need to be guessing. You don't need to be using any clues. The answer is right there in the text. That's what literal comprehension is all about. Understanding, reading, of course, because you have to read first, and understanding whatever information that is directly stated. It tells you the text, the passage, the story, whatever you're reading, it directly tells you. So when you are ready to go and answer your questions, no clues are needed, no guessing is needed. You can just go back to the passage, find the answer because it's there, and put it back. That's what it's all about. The word literal in comprehension, it refers to or it means what is really happening, what is literally happening, directly happening in the story or in the passage that you are reading, all right? So here's an example. Let's just say you are reading a passage and a sentence in the passage says, the man lives on Duke Street. That's a literal statement. It tells you who and what, all right? And then after you have finished reading the passage, you go to answer your question, and your questions say, one of your questions rather say, on which street does the man live? Would you be able to go back to the passage and find that answer?
Yes, Miss.
Yes, because it was directly stated. You did not need to guess where the man lived. You did not need to use any clues. The answer is directly in the text. And so that is a literal level question. So for literal level questions, the answers are usually, or they're always, directly stated in whatever you have read. Do we understand that?
Yes, Miss.
Everybody? Everybody
Yes, Miss. I
understand?
understand.
Yes, Miss,
Okay.
I understand.
Good. All right, so I have a little video for us to watch. Before we read through this, I want us to watch a little video. I'm going to stop sharing for a minute so I can bring up the video. Are you seeing the screen?
Yes, Miss.
I need to ensure that I'm sharing sound. Okay, I think it's a sound. I'm going to start the video and then pause it because I want you to tell me whether or not you are hearing. All right?
Hey, Joey. I had too much homework and didn't get to go to the volleyball game.
Were you hearing that a while ago?
Yes, miss.
Yes, Miss.
Yes, miss.
Good. So we're good to go. Let's go then.
Hey, Joey. I had too much homework and didn't get to go to the volleyball game last night. Did the volleyball team win its match?
I don't know, but the school paper just came out. It's probably in here. Westlake Volleyball edges Riverdale. Westlake's varsity volleyball team topped Riverdale last night in 3 straight games. 15-9, 15-10, and 15-3. There you have it. They won.
What place is the volleyball team in now?
Let's see, what place are we in? Here it is. Westlake is now in second place, just behind San Marcos, with 3 weeks left in the season.
We're in second place, huh? I hope we can catch up. Hey, how did Janie Jones do in the match? I'm just, curious.
I think I saw something. Here it is. Senior Janie Jones served up 6 aces to preserve the win.
6 aces? That's great!
I had no idea you were such a fan. Why are you so into volleyball?
Hi there, Janie. Great game last night. 6 aces!
Thanks.
Never mind.
All right. Why do you think the friend was able to answer all those questions?
Because it was on.
Because it was what?
It was on the school paper.
It was in the school paper. Did he need to guess any of the answers?
No, miss. He just had to look at the paper to see them.
Right. So he didn't need to guess any answer. He didn't need to use any clues. All he needed to do was to read the paper to answer the question that his friend was asking. And that's literally what literal comprehension is about. All right? Understanding things that are directly stated in the text. So when you get your comprehension passages to read, some of the times the questions that are being asked, you may need to do a little, Googling, or may have to use some clues or something to get the answer. But there are also times when all you need to do is go back to the text, read it again, and pick out the answer, because the answers are directly stated. They are right there for you to see. You just need to go back and maybe read a second time. That is literal level comprehension. Understand?
Yes, Miss.
All right, let's go back to the PowerPoint.
Is what she said.
I'm to her question, but she don't know what is a thing.
I'm gonna mute.
Yeah.
All right, now here is the little thing I wanted us to go through. May I have a reader to read this for me?
Zach is a boy. He is 6 years old. Jack goes to St. John's Primary School. He is in first grade. Zach has 2 older sisters. They are in the 5th grade. They are twins. Zach likes to play football.
All right, thank you. So this little passage is telling us about Zach, and we have some questions that follow. We're going to read the questions, we're going to answer the questions, and I want you to tell me if the question is a literal question and why, all right? The first question says, what is the name of the boy in the story? What's the name?
Let's explore.
Pardon? What
Miss,
is the name of the boy?
Miss, Zach.
Zach. Zach is the name of the boy. So do you think that question was a literal level question?
Yes, miss.
What made you think it's a literal level question?
Because you can go back into the passage and see the answer there.
You can go back into the passage and find the answer. Or other words, answer is directly stated in the passage. No clues are needed, no guessing is needed. Number 2, how many sisters does Zach have?
2 older sisters.
2 sisters.
2 older sisters. Is that a literal level question?
Yes, miss.
Yes. Why?
Because it's clearly stated in the passage.
Right. Good. And number 3, read number 3 questions for me.
Where
Where
does
does Zach goes to school?
What's the answer for that?
St. John's Primary School?
Good. Is that answer directly stated in the text as well?
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
miss.
So is it a literal question?
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
miss.
Yes, it is. All right, good. We already watched that video. Now let us talk some more about literal level question. It says here that literal questions or the literal level questions usually start with who, what, when, and where. They usually start with who, what, when, and where. So when you read your comprehension passage and you see questions starting with these who, what, when, and where, more than likely they are literal level questions. So that means all you need to do is to go back to the text, read it again, and pick out the answer. All right. It says here, a literal question has a direct answer that is a fact. And we already know this because we know that questions or the answers to literal level questions are directly stated in the text. Examples here. Who invited Summer to their Halloween party? So if we were to be reading a passage or a story rather, about a Halloween party that Summer was invited to, and we get a question like this, it is expected that the answer, whoever it is that invited Summer, was directly stated in the text. The other question says, what does Summer do when she wants to leave the Halloween party? Again, if this is a literal level question, then we expect that the answer to this question is directly stated in the text. Are you following me?
Yes, miss.
Okay, lovely. Now let us read these questions. I want you to tell me if you think these questions are literal or not. Number 1, what color is the apple? Do you think
It's
that
a
would be a
literal.
yes, it would be a literal. Why do you think it would be a literal?
Miss Coy already know what is the color of an apple.
Right. And you're expecting that if you are to read a passage that's telling you about apples, you would be able to go back to the passage and find the color of the apple. Number 2 says, why do you think the boy stayed home? Do you think that's a literal level question?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Really? Why do you think the boy stayed home?
No,
No, miss, it's not literal because it's your opinion.
All right, very good. So it says, why do you think? So it's not asking for what was directly stated in the passage. It's asking what you think. Hold on a second. I'm still using the phone, so because of that. All right, let's go back. My apologies for that. Yes, I was saying this question is no longer asking for what was directly stated, which is the fact. It's asking about what you think. So the fact that it's asking about what you think means it's not a literal question. Literal questions will not need your opinion. It needs the facts that are directly stated in the text. Understand?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, number 3. Read number 3 questions for me.
What is the girl's name?
What is the girl's name? Do you think that's a literal level question?
Yes, Miss.
Yes, it would be. And read number 4.
What are Stuart's parents' name?
Do you think that would be a literal level question?
Yes, miss.
Yes, it would be. All right, so that is literal. We're going to move to another level of comprehension, and you will see the difference between the two now, which is the inferential level. Let me bring up that one. Sorry about that, my microphone is muted. Are you seeing the screen?
No, miss.
No, I'm not sharing. All right, here they are. Seeing the screen now?
Yes,
Yes.
miss.
Good. Now, I was saying earlier, we're on the inferential level of comprehension now, and I have some shoes on my screen. There's no name attached to them, no person there, no occupation there. But I want you to look at them, look carefully what's happening, and tell me who you think were the first pair of shoes. Who do they belong to?
A ballerina.
A ballerina. Did it say that it belongs to a ballerina?
No, Miss.
So how did you know it belonged to a ballerina?
Miss, because
I
you
don't know.
guess or you got information from before to know that it was a ballerina.
So you said something a while ago, and that's a good thing you said. You said you got some information from before. Do you know what we call that? We call that your prior knowledge. So your prior knowledge, something you know about ballerina already, makes you know that these types of shoes are usually worn by ballerina. And so you use your prior knowledge plus the clue that is there, which is the shoes, to help you make that decision that, hey, a ballerina must have worn these shoes. What about the second pair of shoes? Who do you think were those?
A construction worker or a
A
farmer?
construction worker or a farmer or who else?
Engineer, Miss.
Maybe an engineer. All right. Did anything right here state that a construction worker or farmer or engineer wore these shoes? Was it stated there?
No, Miss.
No. But what did you use to help you make that decision?
Or prior knowledge.
You use your prior knowledge, which would be that an engineer or a farmer or a construction worker usually wear these very big, heavy shoes and are usually covered in dirt. So when we see them, we know that that man must be a construction worker or maybe an engineer or even a farmer because those shoes give it away. And so when we see this, we can automatically assume that they belong to that person. What about the last pair? Who do you think were those?
Miss, an NBA player.
An NBA player, so a basketballer. Anybody else? Just basketballers usually wear these?
Miss, what it could be like since it's sneakers, it could be you could say that like people when they're like training wore it
Okay.
too.
Yeah, that works as well. And once again, it was not stated, no name was there, no picture was there, no occupation was there. But you have a prior knowledge, and the clue was given, which is the shoes itself is the clue. And with those, you were able to assume or infer that the shoes belong to an NBA player. Now, I did this to help you to understand the inferential level of comprehension. Now, while the literal level of comprehension have the answers directly stated in the text, that is not the case for the inferential level. For the inferential level of comprehension, the answers will not be directly stated in the text. You will need to use clues that are in the text plus your prior knowledge about whatever topic it is you're reading about to answer these questions. So, for example, if one day you are in class and your teacher comes in, she did not say good morning or good afternoon. She walked to her desk fast, face is serious. She slams down the books and pens and so on the desk. And when you try to say something, she shouts at you and says, I don't want to hear anything from you. What would you say about the teacher? How would you describe the teacher's attitude that
Miss,
day?
she's in a bad mood.
Angry.
You would say the teacher is angry. You would say she's in a bad mood, right? Some persons would say the teacher has a lot of attitude, but the teacher didn't say anything like that, right? The teacher didn't come to you and say, I'm in a bad mood. The teacher didn't come to you and say, I'm angry today. The teacher didn't come to you and say, the teacher didn't come to you and say, I have attitude today. But because of the clues that were given, the slamming of the books on the decks, the vexed up face, the shouting at you, those are the clues. Plus, you know what somebody is like when they're angry. You know what somebody is like when they're in a bad mood. You know what somebody is like when they're giving attitude. So that's your prior knowledge you're using right there. Your prior knowledge, as well as somebody keeps calling me, your prior knowledge, as well as the clues given in the text, are able or make you able rather to make an assumption that the teacher is angry or is in a bad mood. That is what the inferential level of comprehension is all about. Let's go some more into it. Once more, I have another video. I am going to stop sharing for a minute and bring up the video. Are you seeing the screen again?
Yes, Miss.
All right, so we're going to play the video now.
How was my day? How was my day? How dare you ask me that? Well, all right. Since you asked, I'll tell you how my day was. First, the car broke down on my way home from work. And then, when I eventually get home, I find out the dog has run away. Finally, my husband tells me he's lost his job. I am so very, very unhappy.
Cut! Where'd you get that line?
What line?
The line about being unhappy. That's not in the script.
It's not?
Roll that back. See here? Car broke down. Dog ran away. Husband lost his job. See? Nothing about being unhappy.
Well, I made an inference that she was unhappy.
An inference? What's that?
I read the text and thought about what I know, and so I made an inference that the character is unhappy. See, we know her car broke down, and that's always a hassle. Then her dog ran away, and that's really sad. Finally, her husband lost his job, which is always bad news. So I added these things up and made an inference that she must be pretty unhappy.
Inference, huh?
I like it.
Okay, we'll keep it. Everyone, let's do it again with the inference in this time.
All right. Do you understand that video?
Yes, miss. It was saying that basically, when you're using inferential comprehension, you're basically making an inference using your prior knowledge about something. Miss, you're muted.
Continue. Are you saying something else?
Oh, no, miss.
All right, very good. So when we're making the inferences, we are using our prior knowledge, but not only our prior knowledge, we are also using the clues that we get. So when you are reading something, you may get some clues. The text may tell you something, but it doesn't give you the direct answer. And so you have to say, all right, let me use these clues. And then you would probably have some prior knowledge on the topic. So with your prior knowledge and the clues that you have, you can make an inference. When you're making an inference, it's as though you are assuming something. All right? I'm going to share back the screen now. Back to the hold on. I see a message in the chat. It's how can an old man don't know what is an inference? You'd be surprised to know how many person doesn't know. Yes, man. Couple of them well still don't know. And so you have something that you can teach an older person now who is not familiar with what an inference is. All right. Now, let's use an example. Let me give an example. Let us say, for example, you see a young lady. She is fully dressed. Are you hearing me?
Yes, miss.
Okay. You see a young lady. She's fully dressed in pink. So she has on a pink top and a pink pants. She's wearing her pink sneakers. She has pink ribbons in her hair. She has a little pink handbag. And then you look at her phone and you see that the phone is in a pink case. She takes out her book. Her book is pink. Her water bottle is pink. And it's just all pink for her, right? And then I say to you, what do you think that girl's favorite color is? What would you tell me?
Pink.
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 Or
Yeah.
maybe, miss,
Yes.
or maybe it could depend because maybe what if the day was like a breast cancer awareness day and she wore pink?
Okay, so maybe, but that's why we're saying the inferences aren't always facts, and that's why they're inferencing their assumptions. All right, so we are using prior knowledge plus clues to make an assumption. So that may also be the case. All right, but if we are saying no, her favorite color is pink, even without her telling us, we can make that assumption because we saw that she was wearing a lot of pink, and we know that usually a person wears a lot of the color that he or she likes. So we use our prior knowledge plus the clues to make that inference. Do you understand?
Yes, miss.
All right, here's another example. You are walking past a lotto shop where people go and buy lotto, and you see a man holding a lotto ticket and jumping for joy and saying, yes, yes, thank you, God, thank you, Jesus. And I say, what do you think just happened? What would you say?
Miss, he won the lotto.
He won the lotto. Even without the man telling us that he won the lotto, we could make an inference. We use the clues. The clues would be the man holding the ticket and the man jumping for joy and shouting yes. And we use our prior knowledge. If we see somebody standing at the lotto shop doing something like that, our prior knowledge will basically tell us that that man just won something. And so with those two things, we can assume that the man just won the lotto, even without it being directly stated. That is what the inferential level of comprehension is about. All right? Just going to read this little definition. It says, inferential comprehension is the ability to process written information and understand the underlying meaning of the text. This information is then used to infer or determine deeper meaning that is not explicitly stated. So it's not directly stated like the literal comprehension. It's not exactly there. When a question is inferential, that means the answer will come from evidence meaning clues, and reasoning, not from an explicit statement in the book. So it will come from the evidence, the clues, and your reasoning, which will come from your prior knowledge, and not from anything that is directly stated in the book. Do we understand that?
Yes, miss.
Okay, good. Now it says inferential comprehension requires readers to, one, combine ideas. So you need to combine ideas. Two, draw your conclusions. And three, interpret and evaluate the information. So you're combining the ideas, the clues, and your prior knowledge and so on. Two, you're drawing your conclusions. So after you see the clues and you use your prior knowledge, what conclusion can you draw from it? And three, interpret your conclusion. So if you think that's the case, what does that mean? All right? That's what you're doing. Let's practice. It says, can you infer where I am and what I am doing? I see bubbles rising. I hear my own breathing. There are fish swimming above me. I feel the seaweed swaying. Where do you think this person is?
Miss, he's probably at the beach,
Probably at the beach. And what do you think he's doing?
swimming.
Swimming underwater.
Did it say there that he's at the beach?
No, miss, but you can infer based on the clues that since there's seaweed and all of those stuff, seaweed can only be in the sea. So he has to be close to a beach or in the sea.
Excellent. So we use our clues, the bubbles rising, the fish swimming above him, the seaweed swaying. We use the clues, and you also use your prior knowledge because you know that these are the things that are usually at the beach or at the sea. All right. So this person is swimming at the beach or at the sea. Number two says, It's so dark in here. What's that squeaky sound? Oh, I feel something sticking and strange touching my face. I'm getting nervous. Where do you think this person is?
Mm, I'm not sure, miss.
Look at it, man. Look at the clues. Squeaky sound, dark, things touching the face. Think about Halloween.
Oh, he's in what do you call them? Those miss, those
The
little
attic.
houses that they use for.
Right, like the haunted house.
Yes, miss.
Yes, that's exactly where this person is. In an haunted house, and this person is afraid. All right, so the clues are there. The squeaky sound. Haunted house usually make the squeaky sounds, and then they usually have the cobweb touching the face and other little scary things in the house touching you. And so yes, we would infer that that person, sorry, is in a haunted house. All right, so I'm going to stop this here.
Miss, what about the third one?
Oh, we're not going to be looking at the evaluative level today. Not today. We will look at it, but not today. I'm going to bring up another video for you to watch. Hold on.
Amanda, mute. Amanda, mute.
Miss.
Oh, I was
Miss, can
muted.
you mute me?
Miss, what happened? Are you having technical difficulties?
Are you not hearing the video?
Oh no, Miss, you're not sharing it.
I wasn't.
No, Miss, you stopped sharing because you went to mute Amanda.
Oh no, and I was here playing the video all along. I'm so sorry. I thought I was sharing.
Oh.
Thank you for letting me know. Are you seeing my screen? Look how far the video reach.
Yes, Miss, I'm seeing your screen.
Oh no, I really thought you guys were watching. All right, let's do it again. Let me know if you're hearing once I start playing. Are you hearing?
Hi, Debbie.
Yes,
How's
yes,
your
Miss.
science fair project coming along?
Just about finished, Mrs. C.
What does your robot do?
She can read any piece of text and answer all of your questions about it.
Really?
Sure, try it out.
Okay, let's see. How about this?
She took off her red coat and sat in the waiting room, still talking loudly on the phone. If that's how you want it, fine, she said, and mashed the end call button. She then crossed her arms, lowered her eyebrows, and said, humph, to nobody in particular.
Wow, she's a good reader.
Now ask her a question.
Okay, robot. What color is the woman's coat?
Red.
That's right.
I told you.
Let me try another one. Robot, how does the woman feel?
Does not compute.
Wait a second. The text doesn't say how the woman feels.
It doesn't literally tell us how she feels, but we may be able to infer how she feels. How do you think she feels, Debbie?
She is totally angry.
And how do you know that? What words in the text make you think she is angry?
She mashed the button when she hung up the phone, and she crossed her arms and said,
Very good. Your robot was able to answer a literal question, like what color is her coat?
Red.
But she couldn't answer an inferential question, like how does the woman feel?
Does not compute.
But notice how you still used words from the text to support your answer to the inferential question.
I guess I did, didn't I?
Yes.
Looks like I have more work to do.
Yes. Yes. Red. Does not compute. Does not compute. Yes.
All right. So that video was basically to help you to understand the difference between the literal or answering literal level questions from literal comprehension and answering inferential level questions from inferential level of comprehension. Did you understand the video?
Yes, Miss, he was basically saying that the robot can only answer literal level question because literal level questions are from the text. So when the robot read the text, she could answer the question. But when it comes down to a question like how the person was feeling, it couldn't describe how she was feeling because it didn't state how she was feeling in the text. You have to make an inference to say how she was feeling.
Good. And how do we usually make inferences again? By using what?
Prior knowledge.
Prior knowledge plus what?
Context clues.
Plus
Oh,
the
use it.
clues that you get. So use your prior knowledge, what you already know, plus clues. The clues are usually given in the text, all right? And what about the literal level questions? How do you usually answer those questions?
Miss, by reading the text or the story or whatever and answering.
Right, by just going back to the text, because the answers are usually directly stated there. And so you don't need any clues for the literal level comprehension or the literal level questions. You don't need any clues. You do not need your prior knowledge. You do not need to be guessing, to be assuming. You just need to go back to the text, read what is there, and put back the answer. The answers for the literal level questions are usually right there. And remember, the literal level questions usually start with who, what, when, where. So you may read something and it says, when did Miss Howell attend the function? You're expecting to see that directly in the text. All right. Who did Miss Howell attend the function with? You're expected to see that directly in the text. But it may say something like, how do you think Miss Howell felt after attending the function? That might not be directly stated in the text. You will have to use prior knowledge and plus the clues that was given in the text to answer that particular question. Because for that one, you would need to make an inference. Do we understand those two levels of comprehension?
Yes, Miss.
We understand
Yes, Miss.
clearly. Nobody is lost. Nobody's puzzled.
No, Miss, not really.
Not really.
Miss, I understand both of the comprehensions that I learned today.
Okay, great. Good. All right, so we are just about at the end of our session for today. And that means that I am going to stop here